It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the latest teaser that they released again for the second half of season 10, which was called Who Will Rise and Who Will Fall. We're gonna take a look at a few scenes in the teaser, or a few shots in the teaser, that do give us a clue about who might potentially die in the second half. Now, I already did my death prediction video, that's separate. This is just basically looking at the teaser, what could potentially be some of the Easter eggs or clues that they have in there in terms of who might potentially die. Also, since I already did my breakdown of this teaser, like we looked through every scene in the teaser, I'm not gonna look through all of them again. I'm just gonna pick certain shots in the teaser that are Easter eggs, and I'm gonna talk through them. One other thing, some quick announcements before we get started. I have received tons of comments from subscribers telling me they are not receiving notifications for uploads, which is actually caused by some problems on YouTube's end, where it's either unsubscribing users or turning off their notifications. So do me a favor and go check to see if you're still subscribed and that the notification bell is turned on. Even if you've done so already, it doesn't hurt to check again, especially if you are noticing that you're not seeing the notifications come in for uploads for the channel. So with that, let's jump into it. So first of all, the one that jumps at you is Alpha. So we had this shot in the teaser where we have these heads on pikes, obviously a throwback to season 9 episode 15, where we had the heads on pikes scene with the 10 people that ended up dying in that episode. Of course, Alpha and the Whispers decapitated them and put their heads on spikes. Now, what's interesting about this shot though is that all of these are Alpha masks. Like, take a look at Alpha's mask, it's exactly the same one. So that is very, very interesting, and it could be an indication that, you know, her head might end up on a pike as well, just like the other 10 people who she beheaded and put their heads on pikes from a survivors group. So I think that's definitely an Easter egg and a hint that we might see something like that. And obviously, looking at the comic story, there is certainly this sort of parallel scenario between, you know, the pike scene and how Alpha ends up dying. I'm not gonna jump into that here. I'll do a separate video on that. That'll be posted soon as well. So, you know, for comic readers, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna dive more in detail on that video about that. But for non-comic readers, just know that things might circle back around. And this could be a hint about that. Now, the other thing that's very interesting is you see the birds in the back. That's interesting because if you look at all of the teaser, only certain characters have these birds in the background. Now, birds could be a symbol of freedom, but it could also be a symbol of their souls leaving Earth and them dying potentially. I could be wrong about that, but that's the basis of my prediction about the Easter eggs on these teasers. Basically, whoever we see in the teaser where there's birds in the background, that could be an indication that they might die in the second half. And some of these are actually supported by my own death prediction video, which, like I said, I already did. But before I jump into the other characters, obviously Alpha is one of them. And it's not just the birds that I mentioned, but also the heads on pikes that we just saw. And there's a cool transition here where we see both of those together. And I think that's another clue or Easter egg that Alpha's head could be gone by the end of this season. And again, just looking at the birds themselves as being potentially a sign that these characters are gonna die. You see Alpha here and the birds in the background. And again, I think that's another clue that Alpha is gonna die. It's a pretty cool character portrait for Alpha. She looks pretty intimidating in this. Now, I do wanna reiterate, if you look at the teaser, only certain characters have a shot of them where there's birds in the background. Not everyone has birds around them. So that's why I'm leaning towards the birds being significant and being an indication that that character is gonna die. The other character that we see where there's birds in the background is Father Gabriel. That's extremely interesting. And then the shot of Rosita and Father Gabriel, we also do see birds around them. We also do see birds around Rosita. Now, she was in my death prediction video as being a candidate for a character who might die this season or this half of the season. So I'm not surprised that she's gonna end up dead at the end of the season, or not surprised that this teaser is basically giving us a sign that she might die. But Father Gabriel, that was interesting to me. I'm not sure if they're gonna kill both of them. That might be overkill because Siddiq just died. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're gonna kill both of them, but the fact that they are in this together with the birds around, that's interesting. All of these character portraits, for the most part, are single character portraits. Like, it's just one character. It's just Father Gabriel and Aaron, where it's not just them on the portrait, it's someone else as well. It's the character portrait for them and someone else. In this case, it's Rosita and Father Gabriel, so that's interesting. It could be a clue that there's some important storylines coming up with Rosita or between Rosita and Father Gabriel, which is interesting. We do know they're together, but the fact that they have their character portraits together like this could be an indication of something more. And that's pretty much it. So there's only 3 characters with birds surrounding them: Rosita, Father Gabriel, and Alpha. I think for Alpha is a pretty obvious one that she's gonna die, and I think this teaser gave us more than enough clues and Easter eggs that she's gonna die at the end of this season or by the end of this season. But Rosita and Father Gabriel is definitely interesting. But I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think that the birds are an indication that the characters we see will die by the end of the season, or do you think that the birds are not significant at all? And also let me know your thoughts and opinions about the heads on Pikes, with the heads being replaced with alpha masks. What do you think the significance of that is? I think that's a pretty obvious one as well, but I do want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions about that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.